Hello plant friends! Another week, another episode, more butchered plant names. Thanks so much for coming back and joining me. So this week we're going to talk more about the Queen Anthurium, or the Anthurium Warocqueanum. I shared this one, my first, my biggest. This is Queen Elizabeth with you guys a couple weeks ago. In the meantime, she has grown quite a bit. I've also acquired a few more Queen Anthuriums that I'll share with you guys. For an update for Queen Elizabeth, she has grown quite a bit. This first leaf just kind of kept on growing since the last video, and I think this is the full size now. Let's use the medical standard measurement of length, which is a paper towel roll, and I would say she's about 2 paper towel rolls long now. So that's great. And her leaf is doing well. I don't really do much. I just kind of put her on the shelf. No extra humidity. My ambient humidity in my area where I live in Southern California is about 60 to 70. These are the new anthuriums that I've added to my collection. A couple weeks ago, I was very curious about these so-called different forms of the Queen Anthurium. I keep hearing about this narrow, dark form, which seems to be, all the rage and is a bit more expensive than the regular form, whatever this regular form is. So when I posted on Facebook and I asked around with my friends about what these so-called different forms are, I had a lot of mixed messages. A lot of people were pretty unsure about what form they had. So is Queen Elizabeth a quote-unquote narrow, dark form? I mean, she's definitely dark, right? But is she that narrow? I don't know. Has she just been a couch potato for too long? Not quite sure. Too much pizza? I don't know. I think this one, when you put it side by side with my Queen Elizabeth, there are noticeable differences. This one is not as dark. It's more green. It's still a darker shade of green. I think the most noticeable difference are the leaf veins. These are much more prominent. This anthurium right here is, I would say, dark and narrow, but the leaves are still small. This plant is obviously still young. Do these forms change with time, with maturity, with the environment? I'm not quite sure. So if you know the answers to any of these questions, please comment below. Please share with the plant community, because I assure you there are a lot of confused people out there, including myself. When I posted my inquiry on Facebook, a lot of people did share with me what they thought were their dark and narrow forms. There are plants that definitely have dark and much more narrow leaves than the Queen Elizabeth here that I have. Those plants looked a lot younger than mine. I don't know if that's just, due to their age, and I wonder if their next few leaves are still going to be as dark and narrow, or they're going to be wider and fatter like Queen Elizabeth here. This one, if you compare, it's a little greener. It's not as dark. The secondary veins are a bit more prominent. Is it closer to this other form? I'm not quite sure. I think there's a wide variation, and I think that's just something that we have to accept. For those who are curious, all my anthuriums are in straight sphagnum moss. They seem to be doing well. It seems to be the best medium for me. To me personally, it doesn't really matter what form I got. This is my first, my biggest. It's my most beloved. So, I don't care, what form she is exactly. I love it regardless. And this big monster, what a monster, right? What a monster this one is. And it is so unique. Probably not dark and narrow. It can be, wide and fat and light whatever it is, it's absolutely stunning and amazing. Please remember to like and subscribe and all that stuff. Thank you so much again. Happy planting.